On our joyful lunch. I'm super excited about it. He has a current new song which already is getting massive, great response from you, the public, right there, with Dave W right there as well. Nez, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, my brother. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Can't complain. How's everything going?
Everything is going great. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Nikudala.
I remember the last time we had an interview. You came through with the Devals.
Yeah, that was literally December 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Oh my. But anyways, let's talk about how you would describe your 2020 as a year, maybe from the music aspect.
From the music aspect, I must say a lot of things would have happened differently, but I feel like I actually delivered everything that I felt like I needed to deliver musically, you know what I mean? I dropped my EP and the response was amazing. It had one of the biggest songs in the country. It still is one of. And I must say 2020 was an amazing year for me. Besides the pandemic slowing us down, I mean, either way, we had to learn one or two things from that. And honestly speaking, I did learn a lot of things. I feel like if the world was just open and everything running smoothly, I wouldn't have learned a lot of things on how to go about this industry, man, as being on stage. You know what I mean? But it had to take away a pandemic to take away the stage from us to actually get innovative and actually find other ways of surviving and making the money. You know what I mean? Yeah, so 2020, I learned a lot of things, and musically, I felt like it was a great year for me. Income-wise, it was a great year for me.
How did you make your income? Because we all know that you are one of the people who enjoyed a lot having shows with Van Damme, show after show, Keka. There's so many songs that we can talk about in sport and just say Nez Long had he has been having a lot of shows, not just 2020, but from the time that Van Damme dropped at the end of the day right there. Which other ways were you making money?
There's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways.
Apart from having events.
Apart from having events, like there's a lot of corporate deals that I've actually gotten involved with. Yeah, like a lot of them. And besides that, when I noticed that, okay, COVID is going to slow my hustle down a little bit, I needed to diversify. I have a side hustle besides this whole music arrangement, you know what I mean? But music is my first passion. Even the business that I have right now, the whole investment on it comes from the music. It's money that I made off the music, you know what I mean? Yeah, and 2020 really taught me a lot of things. There's a lot of ways to actually be relevant, and when something is taken away from you, you need to find ways to go about life. You can't always complain. You know what I mean? The fact that we have a pandemic that is really, really bad, and we are more focused on complaining about how things are how life is going now and whatnot, is a little bit not the right way to go about things. I feel like we need to find alternative means of survival. You know what I mean? Right now, we are all surviving. I won't lie to you. There's very few people who are actually living for luxury like right now. It's for survival. We are all surviving through this until the world gets back to its perfect way.
You know how everyone was looking forward to 2021? Maybe things will change.
They thought that the pandemic is going to end on 31st December, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, despite that, I don't know if I can call it the way of promoting music or what, but the money that you were showing off. You know how people were talking about you on social media when you were vibing to your song W Double.
Yeah.
There's a video that you made, so much money. How come you're making so much money that we can't even find ourselves with the pandemic? Yeah.
You should see me after the interview.
Oh my! What's the secret, bro?
Like I told you, I'm a businessman.
Yeah, you're a businessman.
I'm a businessman.
Oh my! We need to be scared. You know, a businessman needs. They'll tell you that you need to write your plan, how you make your money at the end of the day. I don't know, man. But if you remember way back, that was the thing. You buy your TV, you are going to be asked, how did you get the money? Yeah, you put on something that is very expensive, you're still going to be asked.
Yeah, it's just the way of life.
Yeah.
Questions are going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you need to flourish like a serpent. Not everybody needs to know all your moves. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, maybe once in a while you show some fruits.
Yeah.
But you need to keep your hustle a secret. You know what I mean?
Let's talk more on the other side. And this one was one of the things that was trending, just in case. You did a verse in KB's My Diary. People are talking about it. Let's talk about that on the other side.
I regret any of them because I learned from them. One thing you need to know, as entertainers, we can never be friends. We're just here to use each other. Sad, but true. This is My Diary 8.
Benjani Kaira gave me mixtapes and market to music. And if you wanna do the thing, I think you choose me. Kid from Kawata, so the bars was unruly. I was thinking, feed me beats, let's keep it moving. Excuse me, you know I've been hungry since the first day. Tigu L introduced me to K-Slade. Thinking we just wanna make it in the worst way. Muzu made the bedroom studio where we all play. Denzo Ganiza was next to do. Everybody had to go, so they left for school. I learned people gon' leave, don't get comfortable. And that loyalty's learned, never owed to you. Preacher put the music on a Prinko. Took it to every studio and they said no. Got introduced to PC cables. Cable guy. Nothing ever since was the same, bro. I ain't have so many friends at the time, but he believed in me and I ain't understand at the time. Thinking 428 was the best of times. So many young kings, but we was next in line. In the studio closed, the dream died. Thinking how we let the dream die. Yo, I met your die. She didn't understand me, so I made like the alphabet and letter B. I just let the heartbreak inspire me. Then I wrote bars, let the mass admire me. Then I met Reverb, my brother for life. We made like I made it. That's fire for life. Met for kill the game and we done with the hype. R.I.P. J.P. I thank my father for life. I'm a unicorn, I never try to fit in. King of the new wave, never hanging the mic.
As I turn right through these pages, searching for direction, I keep losing patience, but I keep moving, keep pacing, keep doing things, keep racing on. In this book I write down all my fears. This moment's very clear. I'm looking for a new day. I'm starting on a new page. 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 I'm starting on a new page. 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 It's my diary.
Chetekeleni alishaposka vanempisha mfinjelengwe tengo nalisapuska mono universe cause the darkness kushipa. You can only travel miles when you turn into a star. Pakufika before napita mofya kupapusha ndakumbwa bankumbwa bafo mpita mofya kupapusha. With a little effort nakwete nalisapisha. Love nazasampisha lelo ndina mumankusha. But all of yourself if you po I feel solo. Everybody's faking love, I gotta ride solo. I fought the demons so alone. Believe me, I did on my own. Guy kwalengesha walala pamutenge. Kapaba boka kwa froboy imafyeka sende. Niggas taught me how to never trust a human being. I had everybody sleeping on my dreams. For real though. Pali tala la pano, nango bambi munkumbwa pali tala la pano. Bali bala labamo, mukulusha baska bali tala labamo. Jenda pepa taba nanti bama presidential. Shadow chama yendele ndafuta po amesho. It takes your death for them to appreciate you. Yeah, to love you, and to support you.
Real. At some point, I didn't really feel appreciated, but the love you always show me has always kept me going. You inspire me with all the love. It's bigger than all the awards in this world, and I don't take it for granted. It's all love.
Okay.
Hey, yo, Nez.
Yeah.
What's your story, mate?
Take me back to my tero na musiani. Hustling kutiti tobele good monani. Vima cup kudevos. Tika pangamani na vima fresh get no booty cocoa butter smelling handies. Take me back to my taro mukawani. Rumbo ba tenzo gona mobali 90. Making roll music na kuma mungangali. Polished my rap with the help of Flexville Mali way back. I'm glad K-Dash fell out on me. You trash talked about me after I could invest more money. Building a fat nigga made me feel like China money. Real one stuck around and still riding with me, but I can't go back. I need this money. I got 2 kids now, Dwayne and Jelani. This buzz is all I have to feed them like Gargameth. Pay me Zokwana, my back is something you don't wanna with. Ninale Kachibele, she never funner like Drifter. Lucky lad, I owe his bosses a lot of favors. Black out my empire, the fruits of my labor. Stash the whole XY, slap my mentor. Bobby and I wouldn't be friends, some bitch na tango some money. I'm glad all we have came after maturity. I became a giant from the shadow of a giant. Still the chemistry we have can be explained by science.
Starting on a new page. Starting on a new page. It's my diary.
December 2080. Zifunze wailiro mbadali 80. Because Kepi was hurting on me. Zena shikonda manaenda na tishoni. Olo suma tuma phone tishoni. T-boy kumbukila way back. Mukayambana nenzo kupwesa ni back. Advise iwa mira imwe. JoyFm mushe mwa ibara zaine. Bazanga wari upopi na makitu. When you kumbuka in everything that I do. Noti wajavene tenze same crew. Wakwira ndrama kuona mzawa asefu. Wantu wafeki cheka shina wene.
So this is a song, My Diary Part 8. Right there all the way from Killer Beats KB. Amazing one right there. So we're having Nez Long right in the studio as we are talking about his current new song, which we are going to be dropping a little bit later right here on the Shorts Wall. So there's so many things that you talked about in the song, in the verse for KB.
Okay.
One of them is you also mentioned about you investing money in someone. Do you regret the fact that you did that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, it's business. Not everything is gonna turn out to be fruitful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they messed up their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I did what I could. The rest was up to him to do what he had to do for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, he chose the path that he felt was fit for him, and I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best. I hope he's doing the most for himself wherever he is, and God bless his hustle.
The other thing as well that you mentioned is about Joto Trek, Chiveleshi, Navafana. I don't know. Are we all good with? Are you good with Joto Trek, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you can just give the feedback to your fans who are asking those questions.
Well, me and him, we're friends from a distance.
Okay. There's something that I saw on Twitter. I don't know, a couple months ago. I don't know if that happens, but we're from a distance, social distance.
Yeah, social distance. COVID is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's over there, I'm over here. I just don't mess with him anymore. Let him do his thing. I'm going to be doing my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just can't cross paths anymore because of some disrespectful circumstances that occurred. And I'm over that. I won't lie. I'm over that. Yeah, we met in the club the other night. And yeah, we said hi. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
But he's over there, I'm over here.
But we don't expect a song, Nez Long, Jeffrey Trek. Do you expect a collabo? Would you do that if either ways he was to approach you or you were to approach him?
Well, it would take a different type of energy to come through for this
Negative,
song.
positive?
It has to be like really positive energy because I'm very particular with my collabos. We need to match energies on the song. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's got bad energy or anything, but there's a whole lot of people that I haven't worked with who are really good at what they do. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm good at what I do. So for us to actually be on a song together, we need to believe in something together. You know, we need to bring the same energy onto a song. And I just probably this is just not the time. Eventually, maybe in future. You know, yeah. But right now, I don't know. Maybe some maybe a project will pop up, and it will just put us in that place. Yeah.
Okay, so there's also another line that you mentioned right there saying you became a giant from the shadows of the giants. Do you agree when people say Neslong made a big song because of Sheffy and Bobby East, then people had to accept you for who you are? You had to prove a point, because few artists would do that after collaborating with the giants, like you mentioned in the verse for KB's My Diary.
Yeah, I would challenge you to something. How many people have done music with these big giants?
A lot.
And a lot of them.
Yeah.
And how many of us made it?
Neslong made it.
Yes.
Neslong made it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's who Neslong is. Regardless of the circumstance of the situation, every time people are going to come up with excuses. No, he's done this because of Chite. But I mean, we are all on different paths. We're all on our own hustle. These guys will give me a verse, they'll give me a push on one or two things. But the reason why they come onto my projects, the reason why they actually accept to work with me is because they understand that I'm a pusher. You know what I mean? Yeah, possibly my first hit song wasn't by me alone, but that doesn't mean I'm a weak artist. There's a whole lot of artists who have done music with these people. Where's their music? You play Van Damme right now, it's still one of the hottest tracks on the market. That should tell you something. I'm a pusher. I don't depend on anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if it's here, every time they want an artist to prove a point, to say, hey, in Inachta so. But when it's out there, when somebody blows up off a collaboration in the Western world, they easily receive them. But why? Because of the negative energy that our people have towards us. You know what I mean? The type of mindset that we need to kill. You know? But I'll tell you something. I'm never moved by people's comments. I always do me. I'll never switch up and just try to probably even imitate another person. I know I'm very original, and what I do, nobody can do. You know what I mean? I can, if somebody out there feels they would have the same, they'll have the same heat on the market that I have if they collaborated with the artist that I collaborated with. I can actually give you their manager's numbers right now, so that you call them, you collaborate with them, and see what happens. Let's see if you're going to do what I do.
That's a challenge. You're challenging them. Okay, so let's talk about the other issue, which was trending last week. People were talking about it. Fans as well were talking about it right there. It was a debate. Issues to do with comparison. Coppola, LSK. This one posts something, this one posts something. Then people got it differently right there. I don't know, you as Neslong, your perspective in regards with people still compare Lusaka music and Coppola's music as they do day right there. Do you have any say? I'm pretty sure you came across that story.
Yeah, I did. People were sending me screenshots because they actually were expecting me to say something about it. But I'll tell you something. Speaking on behalf of artists, and maybe I must say Copperbelt artists that I've worked with, that I've mingled with, that probably I haven't even done music with, but we've done business together. This Coppola LSK thing is dead. Okay? It's dead. It's the people that feel they want to build their own personal mileage. You know? Some managers who want to build their own personal mileage by bringing about all these comparisons and saying all sorts of things. You know what I mean? In the end, that trickles down to the fans who are now starting to think there's maybe some sort of competition between these two places. You know what I mean? I personally, I've worked with Sheffy and Bobby on the same song. That should tell you something. You know what I mean? I've worked with a whole lot of Copperbelt people. I've worked with Y Celeb. And whenever I go to the Copperbelt, I'm always welcomed. You know what I mean? I've never been in a situation where when I'm there, I'm treated a certain way. No, it's always, I'm just Neslong. Like, I'm Zambian. You know what I mean? Maybe because most of my music has been about unity. It's never been about no one I'm from Akushani, me I'm from Chan. You know what I mean? So the reason why all this thing came about is because I feel like it's just an attention seeker who was trying to get personal attention, not towards the Copper Belt people or LSK people. Personal attention using brands that don't even conflict.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? Brands that don't even conflict. If there's a certain type of genre or type of sound that the Copper Belt people have embraced and are working with, if it's working out for them, beautiful. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean Lusaka people are out here sleeping.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since I came onto the scene, I've never felt like I'm losing in any field. Not because I'm competing with anybody, but my personal goals, my individual goals as an artist, I am meeting them smoothly. And it's not going to take an opinion of a frustrated manager.
Okay.
Okay? It's not going to take an opinion of a frustrated manager to make me feel some type of way. Nah. You know what I mean? I'm good with Copper Belt artists. I'm good with the music they make. Partially, I feel like I am the one who pioneered part of that sound with Van Damme, because before Van Damme, there was no sound like that. You know what I mean? And for somebody to come and say, no, we are lazy out here, we're doing what and what and what. We never come out and say, no, we're doing this, we're doing that. Because I understand the unity I have, like how I work with Copper Belt artists. I'm in a very good place, you know? So I personally didn't even want to say anything. I was like, you know what? Let the music talk. You know, at the end of the day, let the music talk. Let the works talk, you know? Because I am not in any competition with the Copper Belt people. I'm in a very good space. I think I get my respect from them and they get theirs from me, so we're good.
Okay, let's get a move on. Talking about letting the work speak for itself. You have a current brand new song with Dave.
Yeah.
Last year, it was a bad year. We lost one of the greatest.
Yeah, R.I.P. Dave Zambia. He was like a little brother to me. Yeah. We started hustling together with this boy like way back. I remember the time he came through to the studio with Stash, like when I had a little setup sometime back in Matero, and he just came by to just visit. And I told him, you know what, join us, let's work together, let's do all these things. I went around, did a little bit of management for him and Stash, here and there. Eventually, yeah, he was spotted by Slap and he got signed, and ever since, I must say, we've been like brothers ever since he just joined our camp. You know what I mean? And he's one person I would say, we never agreed on everything. We disagreed on a whole lot of things, especially where work was concerned. But whenever it was time for us to look out for each other and run towards maybe for support, we never felt short to run to each other and say, hey, bro, I need this. I'm working on this. Even if sometimes you don't believe in it, you go and help a brother out and until they succeed at what they're doing. Because we understand where we came from. You know what I mean? We understand where we came from. And regardless of the maybe the minor small things that we may have disagreed on as we progressed and elevated in our careers, we never felt short to remember who a brother is. You know what I mean? And his loss was like really heartbreaking to me because I just felt like he had a whole lot more to do. There's a whole lot of things that he was trying to do, that was about to do, that he couldn't deliver. You know what I mean? He was working on a whole lot of things that he really wanted to change, especially about this musically. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's such a shame. And then this song is like one of the songs I did with him off my School Fees, the EP. It's track number 1. Yeah, and I thought, we're going through like a trying time as a country, it's worldwide. Everything is just not okay. Everybody's just trying to find ways to survive and whatnot. And I just want to give people hope out there to say, you know what, no matter the circumstance, let's focus on what puts food on our table and how we're going to survive this and stay focused. Because, you know, sometimes when situations like this come about, we tend to get frustrated because you feel like all your works are just going in vain. You know what I mean? There's like a whole lot of things that are going around that are not working out for you. And you feel like you're the only one. But actually, you're not. You know? So this was just to encourage people to say, we're going to make it through this, but let's just focus on the wins and set aside all this negative energy that anybody might try to bring to you. Sometimes negative energy doesn't only come from people who just look down on you. Sometimes it's people who come and advise you because they don't want you to elevate. You know what I mean? Some people are just in fear of at what pace you're moving and you're progressing individually. So they'll try to advise you in such a way to keep you in a comfortable space where you are in fear of exploding out of that cage. You know what I mean? So sometimes you need to grab the bull by its horns, ride with it, and just do what you believe in. You know what I mean? And this is what the song talks about.
Amazing. So before we get to play the song and before we call it a wrap on our today's edition right in JoyFM, the other thing I'd like to find out is what is Neslong's greatest fear? What are you afraid of? Your greatest fear?
My greatest fear? My greatest fear is my children growing up without me.
Okay.
That's it. There's nothing else I fear. My greatest fear is my kids ever growing up and looking for daddy and daddy is not there. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid of death, but I am afraid of not being present, not being there for my kids. You know what I mean? Definitely, we are all going to pass on one day. Like, you know what I mean? But the fact that if it happens anytime soon and my kids are going to have to, I don't know I don't know how somebody can even, like, I don't see anybody. I can't see them being raised by anybody else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I work so hard and I just want to make sure I give my kids a better life, like the best of life ever than I ever even had. You know what I mean? That's my greatest fear.
Would you allow any of your kids, if they were to say they want to be artists, any of your kids, if they take that, maybe they want to take up that career because they're inspired by their father?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yes, I would. But the one thing that I would try to beat them around over is the fact that the reason why I am here is because, one, I was stubborn and I had to prove to my family that this thing is working out for me. That's the only way that they let it be, and it worked out, and you know, we're good. But from the start, I had to make sure I make my mom proud with all the schools and everything she had to take me through. You know what I mean? Even you, when you know a certain career does not guarantee money at that particular time, you won't let your kids go down that road because you've invested a lot in them. And at the time that I started hustling in the music, it didn't look fruitful. You know what I mean? It didn't look fruitful. But right now, may her soul rest in peace. If she was here and she'd see the amount of the things that I have put in place and pushed for myself and how I'm living my life, she would really be happy. You know what I mean? She would really be happy, and she, as much as she didn't want me to do this, she still encouraged me. She would call me at the house, tell me, no, this is what I'm thinking you should do. Consider this and this and this and this. And then I'll bring up my ideas. So there's this song and this song. And then she'll go like, okay, if you love what you're doing, do it. But you should also make sure you secure your bag somewhere. You know what I mean? Because in a velchita, senior on drama, but you are men on a vichitika. You might be the person that actually succeeds in it. But for now, also consider this that I'm thinking of. You should take up. So I wouldn't let my kids just jump into it easily. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's people who have tried to come into this industry by just buying off because they come from like well-to-do family,
Yeah.
and then they can easily fund their way into the industry. Yeah, that works out, and it has worked out for some artists. But right now, Zambians are so intelligent that they accept an artist based on pure talent. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, I wouldn't want them to take advantage of the fact that dad is an artist and is gonna connect me to PMC, and I can easily just